Hi, welcome to Quilt Addicts Anonymous. This is Stephanie Brennan. We are in the middle of our skirt series, so if you've been following along, if you haven't been, go on over to shop.quiltaddictsanonymous.com and download your pattern. Today, we are going to go over darts. Now, darts are a very simple shaping tool to help make your two-dimensional fabric fit onto a three-dimensional body. So they're some of the earliest things that most folks learned. It's a straight line. We marked them in the previous video, so if you haven't watched that, go ahead and head back over and make sure you watch that one. We're going to put them together now. All right, so as we get started with the darts, the first thing that you want to do is make sure that your sewing machine is ready. Make sure you have matching thread. You do this because you're going to see a little bit of this thread if you use the white thread like we usually use in quilt piecing. As your skirt moves around, as it kind of pulls and tugs along the body, it's going to pop out a little bit more. So you want to find a thread that's going to blend in nicely with your fabric. That'll also cover up any markings that might still show through from when you marked your darts earlier. Now, the first thing that you want to do is find your marks that you found earlier, and you're going to put those together. I usually find, if I find one line and put a pin through it, then find the other line. That way I know that these pieces are together. It's very similar to the two pinning method that Stephanie uses for not losing any corners when you're piecing your quilts. So from here, you can go ahead and take your pin out at this point. Just be careful not to shift anything. You want to line your mark up with where the needle is on your sewing machine. I'm actually going to move this up just a skosh and put the needle down. Now, this is a good place where you want to make sure to backstitch a little bit so you give the dart some strength and some durability, because it is going to be along the waistband. That's a very high stress area on the skirt. So backstitch a little bit up here at the top and then also down here at the tip. Put your fingers at the tip of the dart. And then just follow along that line that you marked. And as you get to the tip, remember to back stitch just a little tiny bit, and you're done. So when you open it up, we will press the dart towards the side seam here in a minute, but I want to point out the waistband. You want this to be a nice smooth curve. Now, if there's a little tiny skosh of a difference, that's going to be okay, but you really want it to be nice and as smooth as possible, because that's where we're going to attach the waistband. And let's do the same to the other side. Now this time I did wait until my needle was down to take the pin out. So that's just a better idea than to take it out beforehand, so you make sure the fabric doesn't shift at all. A couple stitches in, back stitch, sew down your marked line. All right, so both of our darts are done. You can see here along the waistband, we have a nice smooth curve. This is where we're going to press the darts. We want to press them towards the outside, away from the center. Now, this is where if you have like a tailor's ham or something, that's good to use, because we don't want to press this completely flat. Otherwise, it defeats the purpose of the dart. We want the dart to create kind of a curved shape so that it's three-dimensional. But if you don't have a tailor's hand, that is completely fine. You can use a rolled up towel, you can use some scrap fabric, just anything to kind of prop this up a little bit so you can press that point without it looking wonky. So I actually had to run around the shop for a little bit to find something to use for a tailor's hand, because I usually have a little towel that I keep here, but I took that home. So what I'm using, just have some muslin fabric that I used to make some mock-ups of these skirts when I was testing the pattern. The only thing really to keep in mind when finding something to use as a tailor's ham, make sure it's heat resistant. So probably not a good idea to use something that's polyester, although you're not going to be pressing it for a huge amount of time. So if there's a little bit, that's fine, but 100% cotton or some kind of a natural fiber is going to be best. So this is 100% cotton muslin. So I have the point of the dart right here. So I'm going to put that along the edge of my makeshift ham and give it a nice press. Now here I am going to go ahead and flip it over and press this top part nice and flat. And while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side of the dart. So I'm just pressing it towards the outside, and now put my ham under here. Make sure the point is right on the edge so we can press that in. If you want to use some steam at this point, that's a good idea. Just get your Nifty Notion spray mister and press that in place. All right, so our front darts are done. You can see here, when I put the skirt down on the table, it's not wanting to lay flat. That's good because the human body is not flat. We want it to fit the human body. All right, so that's it for this video. Thank you for following along. Make sure you go to shop.quiltaddictsanonymous.com, pick up your pattern. If you haven't watched the previous videos in this series, go ahead and do that. We went over a very simple pull-on skirt. Now we're doing one with a waistband. And then in the next video, we are going to talk about how to use interfacing on the waistband prep. Thank you so much, and I will see you then.